Imagine two young women full of life embarking on an adventure they believed would be the experience of a lifetime. Two vibrant souls, Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon, Dutch students with dreams as vast as the sky. Their hearts pulsated with excitement for a volunteer trip to Panama, a journey that promised to sprinkle their lives with a dash of adventure, altruism, and cultural immersion. Kris, with her sparkling eyes and infectious laughter, was a passionate communicator, while Lisanne was the epitome of calmness, a creative soul with a knack for photography. Together, they formed an unbreakable bond, ready to leap into the unknown, hand in hand. Upon their arrival in Panama, the women were greeted by a landscape of enchanting beauty, where the lush greenery of the jungle met the azure of the sky. The dense Panamanian jungles, with their enthralling flora and fauna, beckoned to them, inviting them to step into a world that was as breathtaking as it was treacherous. It was an irresistible call to the wild, a chance to satiate their craving for adventure. April 1st, 2014, a date that would forever haunt the memories of their families. That day, Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon embarked on what was supposed to be an adventurous trek through the Panamanian jungle. Filled with excitement and the thrill of exploration, they couldn't have known this day would be the beginning of a mystery that would baffle the world. Like any other day, the sun was shining down on the lush greenery of the jungle. The Dutch students, brimming with youthful enthusiasm, set off on their hike, their hearts beating in rhythm with the hum of the jungle. Little did they know, they were stepping into an abyss, a labyrinth of green from which they would never return. As the day wore on, the first signs of their impending doom emerged. Distress calls were made from their phones, a haunting echo in the void. The first call was made just hours into their hike, painting a picture of sudden and unexpected peril. The jungle, once a place of adventure, had swiftly turned into a menacing trap, its dense foliage closing in around them. The hours turned into days, and then weeks. The jungle, with its intertwining vines and towering trees, remained silent, withholding its secrets. There was no sign of Kris or Lisanne. The only testimony to their ordeal were the distress calls made from their phones, each one a chilling reminder of their desperate situation. Their families waited, their hearts heavy with dread. The world watched, holding its breath. The jungle, however, remained indifferent. It had seen many come and go, but Kris and Lisanne were different. They had come with dreams of adventure, only to be swallowed by the very adventure they sought. The jungle swallowed them, leaving no trace behind. With no sign of the girls, the authorities were left with an enigma to unravel. The vanishing of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon sent shockwaves through the Panamanian jungle, leaving the local police faced with a daunting task. The moment the girls were reported missing, the authorities sprung into action. A sense of urgency permeated the air as local law enforcement teamed up with search and rescue teams. Initially, they were hopeful, believing that perhaps the girls had just lost their way and would soon be found. But as hours turned into days, and days into weeks, the optimism began to wane. The dense, sprawling jungle presented a formidable challenge. Its vast expanse, filled with treacherous terrain and unpredictable weather, made the search efforts feel like finding a needle in a haystack. The jungle was a maze, its labyrinthine pathways leading to more questions than answers. Despite the adverse conditions, the search teams pressed on, combing through the thick foliage, wading through muddy trails, and navigating treacherous cliffs. They examined every inch of the terrain, hoping to find some trace, any trace, of the girls. The authorities also turned to local communities for help, believing they might have seen or heard something that could aid the investigation. But their inquiries met with a wall of silence. It was as if the jungle had swallowed the girls whole, leaving no trace behind. The lack of clues was baffling. The girls' last known location, their intended destination, the distress calls made from their phones, none of it made sense. The puzzle pieces just didn't fit together. The authorities were left grappling with a mystery that seemed to deepen with each passing day. Yet the search continued, driven by a relentless determination and the faint glimmer of hope that the girls might still be found. They knew they were up against a formidable adversary, the unforgiving jungle, with its shifting shadows and echoing silence. The jungle remained silent, its secrets held tight. The mystery of what happened to Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon was just beginning to unfold. In the heart of the jungle, a glimmer of truth began to emerge. As investigators delved deeper into the undergrowth, they stumbled upon a backpack that belonged to none other than Lisanne Froon. This wasn't just an ordinary backpack, it was a trove of unsettling clues that would shatter the initial theories about what happened to the two Dutch students. Tucked away inside this backpack, amongst the mundane items of clothing and personal effects, was Froon's camera. This camera, now a silent witness to the girls' horror, held within it a series of photographs. These weren't your typical holiday snaps, oh no. These were images that told a grim story of confusion and desperation. Each photo was a breadcrumb in the dense Panamanian jungle, a silent scream for help from two young women lost in an unforgiving wilderness. The images were eerie, unsettling, pictures of the thick, impenetrable jungle, the vast emptiness of the wilderness stretching out in every direction. There were photos taken in the dead of the night, the flash illuminating the ghostly silhouettes of trees, casting long, monstrous shadows. And then, there were the self-portraits, the girls' faces etched with fear and anxiety, a stark contrast to the smiling faces in their earlier photos. These photos were a chilling testament to their ordeal. They indicated that Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon were lost, disoriented, and increasingly desperate. The photos spoke volumes, more than any words could. They were a visual diary of the girls' last days, a haunting chronicle of their struggle for survival in a hostile environment. But the camera, with its disturbing photos, raised more questions than it answered. How did the girls get so hopelessly lost? What were they trying to communicate through these images? And most importantly, what happened to them after the last photo was taken? The photos revealed a chilling tale of despair and fear, a tale that would send shivers down the spine of even the most hardened true crime enthusiasts. As we delve deeper into this mystery, let's brace ourselves for the unsettling truths that are yet to be uncovered. Months later, the jungle released its dreadful secret. The sinister silence of the Panamanian jungle was broken by a chilling discovery. The skeletal remains of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon were uncovered, their bones scattered, a macabre testament to their tragic fate. The jungle had taken them, swallowed them whole, and then, months later, spat them back out for the world to see. Forensic experts were called in, their practiced eyes and steady hands tasked with piecing together the final moments of these two young women. They confirmed what had been feared: the bones were indeed those of Kris and Lisanne. The confirmation brought a cold finality, but it also deepened the mystery. For the forensic analysis revealed a puzzling fact. There were no signs of trauma, no evidence of a fall, no traces of violence, nothing that could easily explain their untimely demise. This revelation was like a splash of cold water, a stark reminder of the cruel uncertainty that surrounds this case. It was as if the jungle itself was refusing to give up its secrets, keeping a tight grip on the truth of what happened to Kris and Lisanne. We could only speculate. Could they have succumbed to the harsh elements? Did they lose their way and fell victim to the merciless wild? Or was there something more sinister at play, something lurking in the shadows of the jungle? The questions swirled like a dark storm, but answers remained elusive. The jungle remained silent, its secrets locked away, hidden in its dense foliage and murky depths. The only witnesses to their final moments were the towering trees and the chorus of unseen creatures that call the jungle home. And they are not telling. The cause of their demise remains shrouded in mystery, lost to the whispers of the jungle. Years have passed, but the questions remain. In the heart of the Panamanian jungle, where Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon vanished, there is a stillness that whispers of unresolved mysteries. Theories about their disappearance and death have swirled like the jungle mists, leaving only a chilling sense of unease. Some believe the pair fell from a cliff, an unfortunate accident in an unfamiliar terrain. Yet, this theory leaves many questions unanswered. Forensic analysis revealed no signs of trauma on their bones. How could a fall leave no trace? And why did their belongings remain intact? Others suggest the girls lost their way, succumbing to the unforgiving elements. Photos from Froon's camera seem to support this, showing images of dense jungle and rising panic. But still, doubts linger. How could two experienced hikers get so hopelessly lost, and why did their distress calls go unanswered? The investigation into their disappearance has also been the subject of scrutiny. Could there have been mistakes made, clues overlooked, leads not followed? The girls' families have questioned the thoroughness of the local authorities. In a place where other murders have occurred, Was there a hasty rush to close the case? And then there is the darkest theory of all, one that whispers of malevolent intent. Could their disappearance be linked to local murders, their fate sealed by a sinister hand? The truth is elusive, shadowed by the dense foliage of speculation and fear. The jungle holds its secrets close, the truth of Kris and Lisanne's fate perhaps among them. The questions remain, echoing in the silence of the untamed wilderness. The story of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon, lost in the jungle, is a haunting reminder of the unknowns that lurk in the corners of our world. An adventure turned tragedy, leaving a lasting impact. The tale of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon's disappearance isn't merely a suspenseful narrative. It's a tragic story that has left indelible marks on numerous lives. Imagine the heartache their families must have experienced, the agonizing wait for any news, the hope slowly diminishing as days turned into weeks and then months. The final confirmation of their worst fears must have been a devastating blow. Their pain, their loss is immeasurable. The void left by Kris and Lisanne can never be filled, their memories lingering like a haunting melody. But this tragedy has also taught us an invaluable lesson about safety while exploring the wilderness. It highlights the importance of being prepared, of understanding the terrain, and of respecting nature's unforgiving elements. It's a stark reminder that adventure, while exhilarating, comes with inherent risks that should never be underestimated. This case has also cast a long shadow over the local community in Panama. The disappearance of these two young women, the subsequent search, and the unresolved questions have brought unwanted attention and speculation. It has affected tourism, the lifeblood of many locals, and has left a stain on the region's reputation. Future travelers, too, have been impacted. The story of Kris and Lisanne serves as a cautionary tale, a sobering reminder of the dangers that can lurk in even the most beautiful landscapes. It has instilled a sense of caution, a respect for the unpredictability of nature, and a heightened awareness of personal safety. Their story serves as a grim reminder of the unpredictable nature of life. It's a haunting testament to the fragility of existence, the suddenness with which joy can turn into tragedy, and the enduring mystery of the natural world. It's a story that will continue to echo in the hearts of many, a chilling narrative etched in the annals of unsolved mysteries. If you enjoyed this video, then check out our last video. It was about the Overtoun Bridge in Scotland, where dogs mysterious unalive themselves. Click the video now.